You woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be the chosen one. She said, you're one in a million, you gotta burn to shine. But you were born under a bad sign with a blue moon in your eyes. When you woke up this morning, all that love had gone. Your papa never told you about right and wrong, but you're looking good, baby. I believe you're feeling fine. Born under a bad sign with a blue moon in your eyes. So sing it now. Woke up this morning.
Well, I know this song.
Yeah.
I just don't know the lyrics.
For me, I always loved the song, but never remember the words.
The words,
Yeah.
man. Phil, welcome to the construction
Morning.
life. Thanks so much for being on the show again, man. We haven't seen you in a little bit.
Thanks for having me on again.
Right next to you, we got Jason back here from the Keystone Contractor. Let me give out the deets first. Heavy Duty Homes, man. We got a lot to talk about on the show today. So website is www.heavydutyhomes.com, heavy@heavydutyhomes.com, and on Instagram it's Heavy Duty Homes Inc. So first up, I just want to let everybody know I'm wearing Ty Nichols' shirt, his tee. That's going to be my thing, man. I got yours for a future show coming up on today as well, too.
I brought you a special one, too.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Your hoodie's nice, man. And now we're in hoodie weather.
Yes.
As we are, right? So we got a lot to talk about. Where do you want to begin here, man? How's the year been for you? I know we've been chatting briefly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden at the start of the year, there was a question mark about the market here in Toronto. And then about halfway through the year, you started announcing new ideas that you were coming up with. So where do you want to begin, man?
I'd say that's a good topic. This year's been, I guess, very unpredictable for everybody, especially because last year everybody kind of rose so fast there had to be a fall. And people kind of anticipated it coming, but those who didn't are in deep shit right now.
Yeah. Are you seeing it? You talking to other guys?
Oh, yeah.
Really,
We have a lot of guys that are getting stiffed on their final payments by customers that can't afford to close.
Seriously.
Jobs are not getting finished, and it's actually helped us. I mean, it's kind of sad that other guys are going through this, but hearing these stories, it kind of helped us rework our paperwork a little bit to be a little more upfront on the top end, so at least we don't get pinched in a job or end up at a loss when a customer runs out of money.
It's funny that you bring that up because Ty is the one that actually gave me that idea, which I think I've shared with you and I shared a few other people. I also shared it on the show where he gets all the post-dated checks up front for the entire job based on the milestones, right? And then he also just factors in the change orders or anything like that. And obviously that gets submitted. And once it's approved, then he gets a check for that. And then he keeps on moving forward with the milestones.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't get stiff for that last piece of pie coming out of the pizza, right? So
exactly.
It's kind of surprising that you're hearing a lot of guys are actually getting shafted, eh?
So many, and we've reworked our whole structure now for payment as well, just because of this. And it, excuse me.
Okay, you guys taking
make yourself comfortable.
Yeah,
make yourself comfortable.
Yeah. So the way we're taking deposits now is kind of like a builder structure. So we give people like a Terry-on structured warranty on renovations as well. It's not a Terry-on official warranty, but we follow the structure. So basically, we take 10% for your sign up, 40% on your demo day. Which before we start construction, you've now paid 50% of the job.
Yeah, that's smart.
30% once drywall is complete, and the final 20% once your trim and finishing and paint starts. So there's no holdback period.
Nice. Yeah, that's smart.
So you don't have a final check?
Nope, there's no final check.
You're taking it at the...
We're working on their money only. We're not working on our dollar or on our profit.
That's smart. I like that.
So the way that's been working is people question it up front. They're like, what about the holdback period? What if you don't do the job? I go, if you don't trust us, we're off to a bad start. I go, this isn't Backyard Bob's building company. You're at Heavy Duty Homes. You're with a crew of secure people here. We all got your back. And I find like a lot of customers too in the past have used that last payment to negotiate and get more and try
100%.
to take your arm with the job. And that's not fair.
No.
So we do everything in our contract. We have tight paperwork that they can hold us accountable and we can hold them accountable. So once we show them all this legal drafted documentation, they feel a lot better about paying everything up front. It's to protect them and us. And then we give them a final PDI date as well. So their site super will do a walkthrough before they move back in, check everything off, and the Terry-on structured warranty doesn't start until they sign off on the PDI that they feel good about the project.
What are you giving them, 2 years?
We give them 1 year top to bottom, 2 years on minor structure, and 5 years on major structure.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was 5 or 7.
And the clients have been comfortable, like they've been good.
They've been very receptive to it.
Yeah. And I don't want to get negative or start anything negative or any of that, but have you gotten to the point where you've been negotiating that final bit on one job or something like that? Or are all the clients kind of, they see there's a lot of respect. You're establishing respect at the very beginning of the job.
Yeah.
And you're outlining the respect on every level.
That's key.
That's key, right? So all of a sudden you show up, like you said, Bob's Backyard, which, by the way, I bet you any money there is a URL out there. And I bet you any money there's a Bob out there. And I bet you any money there's a backyard out there. So I just, like, you already established that respect from the very beginning regarding the actual creative design, the money, the deliverables, the crew, everything.
Right.
So it puts the client in your court, so to speak.
Exactly.
But you've also seen, like, from the years of doing this and that final 10, 20% holdback, you've also had those discussions and those back and forth.
Absolutely.
Which is why that's now eliminated.
And it can take them a year to pay that because it's like, oh, another screw popped. We're not paying yet.
Yeah.
I don't care about the screw pops. We have a warranty period for that phase.
Yeah.
You don't go to Best Buy and buy a TV for $1,000 and give them $800 and say, if it breaks, if it doesn't break, I'll come back with the rest of your money.
And the longer that drags out, the more
more little things can happen. And then, well, my son hit the chair on the wall. Can you fix that too? Can you fix this too? And it's like,
this is not a warranty
we'll do that.
issue.
We'll happily
It's
warranty
customer
things.
service at that point. Yeah.
Which we do everything, but we're not going to be happy to do it if you haven't paid us yet.
Yeah.
But we're happy to honor the full warranty period afterwards. And when you're in that period, if you notify us of a warranty issue, we have 30 days to start the rectification process. Otherwise, they can hire another contractor and bill us directly.
Wow.
So there's a lot of rights
fine.
that we give.
You're totally open. Like, why are you doing that?
We're so confident. Like, we had a client call
They'll
us.
stay with you.
You're standing behind your
We
service
stand
and
behind
product.
everything.
Yeah.
We had a client call us a job we did 2 years ago. He goes, hey, my tub filler's leaking. He called my project manager, Phil Games, at 10 a.m. He goes, my tub filler's leaking. Phil Games called the plumbing company that did it. Plumbing company, it's a cartridge. He ordered the cartridge, got the cartridge at 2 p.m. 4 p.m. that day, the plumber was on site swapping it out. Same day, friggin' service.
That's
2 years
customer
after the
service.
job.
Yeah.
Like we try to stay on top of shit, and that's the reason why we can back up and charge such a heavy pay structure, because we're not here to fuck around, and we don't want you to be either.
Why do you think these other trades or these other contractors are getting shafted on that last bill? Is it people just do not have the money and they went in knowing that they didn't have the money, or they just overspent?
They thought maybe they had it and they didn't have it when they started, or they had it when they started the job and didn't have it when they ended the job.
Based on what? Amazing salesmanship from the person that's actually doing the work, or based on their wants and desires?
So wants and oversights.
I kind of feel personally that people are doing too much this past 2 years. So they're buying cars, they're taking vacations because money was coming in, or it was overvalued when really the dollar was being diluted.
Yeah.
So if people kind of overspent, let's reno the house, let's take that vacation, let's buy a condo in Florida, and then all of a sudden interest hikes, gas goes up, groceries, house payments, everything kind of starts to tank at once. You're also coming to the end of your contract with your builder. That's the first thing that's going to start to slide if you haven't paid them in full, because there's other things that are going to come first that are going to take priority. So I've been told by one client as well, saying, even though I don't leave myself in the negative, they've called me and told me we need to hold off on the next phase of this build because the funding is not there anymore.
And how do you respond to that?
I say, no problem. I said, what's going to happen now is you've broken our kind of agreement, because I give everybody a structured timeline.
And they're in a queue.
They're in a queue.
And now they're asking you to take me out of the queue.
So say I have structural, rough structure, finishings, and completion as 4 phases, and they stop me after phase 1 because they've anticipated not being able to pay the next phases anymore.
Which is a big thank you to that.
Big thank you.
Yeah.
I'll happily, no problem. We'll stop it at phase 1, but I can't guarantee the same price on the rest of the phases, depending on how long you take to launch.
As long as they understand that now
timeline.
You've gone back to the beginning now.
Right. Now the timeline is out the window. They're in our material breach.
But now that makes your admin side of the business work harder to achieve the same amount of money now.
Exactly.
Do you have any penalty payments for things like that? Or?
We don't give people penalties. We try to keep everything in good faith. Okay. Always try to leave it in a good standing. We understand life happens and people miscalculate.
Yeah.
So we don't want to penalize people financially, but we have to also protect ourselves.
Yeah, of course.
So that 10% payment and 40% payment usually leaves us in the positive. So I will actually give people money back if they can't complete a job and we haven't gotten to a certain point. I'll give them that differential.
You'll calculate what it is.
That's never happened yet.
Yeah, but you're at least okay. I love that you're anticipating so many forks in the road.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing that. And then when a client comes to that fork, they can ask you, okay, listen, we're not ready. We don't have the money. We have to do this. And all of a sudden you have a proper professional response for that.
Exactly.
And then they appreciate that.
There's always a system in place.
You're not making enemies at that point.
No. That's the whole goal. We don't want enemies.
Yeah.
We don't want to fight with our clients. This is our whole future. Our reputation's everything. Now we're living in fucking 2022. Anybody jumps on Google and they can ruin your name.
Of course.
Even haters, like it could be just a snap of a finger and your business is done.
Yeah, just make up a situation that didn't occur. And
you can ask any of our clients. Everybody we've had such a good relationship, even when they have financial struggles and stuff like that. We're very accommodating to a degree.
Yeah.
And even if people get frustrated with how things have gone, they'll sit back and understand that it's fair. Our approach has been fair. So
that's the sense that I'm getting.
Yeah.
100%. So I guess, is it fair to say that the first 2 years of COVID, how you started the business based on the last time you were on the show and you were talking about how, everybody was all this uncertainty. We're not sure what's going to happen. And all of a sudden you just said, forget it, balls in the game. And that's it. We're starting now. We're working.
Right.
Got busy. Clients. That rolled over to the second year of COVID.
Right.
And now is it fair to say that the third year of COVID has been the educational year, understanding what the potentials or the potential negatives are coming? And that's very accurate. Did you guys sit down as a team, as a collective? Because I know Heavy Duty Homes is strongly about your core, your group, right?
Yep.
So did you guys all sit down and go, listen, what problems do we anticipate here? And how are we going to solve these problems before they even become problems?
Yep. I even hired a company to help out with
really
consulting and managing and kind of growth and all that kind of stuff, just to make sure that we stay on track on all avenues. But we do our meetings every morning, like supervisors all sit down, and then once a week we do a full team meeting with administrators and everything. So we're constantly talking. We're talking every day before anything starts.
Wow.
But we gotta constantly innovate and be on top.
So what's next year looking like for you guys in the Toronto area? Because I know we'll get into what's going on, but what are you guys anticipating for next year?
So I'm looking into purchasing and selling renovated homes as a product by Heavy Duty Homes.
So spec homes in a block. So anything that's for sale within a 5 kilometer radius, we'll buy them all up, do a full top to bottom rental, certify the project, and sell a heavy duty home. Nice.
Without doing a tear down.
Based on like a certain number of like trim packages, design packages, things like that.
Our standard trim package is pretty up there.
Yeah.
They're all very nice. So when we do these jobs, we do them in an area where we know that you'll see a proper ROI. So right now we're doing feasibility studies on certain areas with realtors and lenders to see what people can get if we buy a block and sell a block. What the house will be worth after what we put into it.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of the hope for here, because working for clients, although it's the bread and butter, it's not really the end game for us. We need to be selling homes. And right now the building market is so terrible because materials are so expensive. A lot of our clients for custom builds have halted as well, and they've moved to a rental.
Yeah.
So they downsized the project.
Downsizing the project.
But they did that strictly based on a financial?
Yeah.
Really, huh?
We were doing builds. I guess our high-end builds were coming out close to about $390 to $420 a square foot, and now it's like $550, $600.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's not. I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I mean, that's reasonable at that point.
And now all the labor is catching up with the material hikes as well, because people got to feed their families and get to work. So if you have 57 trades on a job that have all increased their price by 10%, that's a big shot at the end of the project for the client.
And how are you swallowing that pill to be presented to the client at that point? Because you have to, right?
We're upfront about it. So when I do my initial consultations, I ask them what their expectations versus reality, expectations and reality is. I said, you guys, are you aware what's happened in our industry over the past 2 years? Are you aware of the price hikes? Are you aware of labor hikes?
What percentage do you think is actually conscious of all?
50%.
Just half?
Yeah.
What's the other half of Joker's doing?
The other half is, it's got to come down by now, though.
Yeah, they all think
they just assume.
Have you seen the price of things?
No, it hasn't come down.
Yeah. People are hungrier than ever right now.
People are still surprised when they come to me from a quote from a year or two ago.
Right.
And they're saying like, oh, it's how much more? Like 2 or 3%.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, 30 minimum.
Yeah, I had somebody give me an estimate in 2019 for this. Now I'm ready to go. What can you do?
Yeah.
I go, that number for 450 is more like 800 now.
Yeah.
That might as well be 1990 at that point,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
So so now you guys are doing a cost comparison all over the city. How diverse is Toronto now? Are we, like, we know real estate, Toronto is one of the top high end in the entire world, right? We still trying to figure out why Toronto and Canada in general is very expensive. But the GTA, the core area here, are there really huge peaks and valleys regarding costs of what the building structure is here? It's like, is Vaughan very expensive? Is Mississauga very expensive? Oakville, like all these areas
they're all pretty equal.
they're
up
pretty.
there.
So it's
Yeah.
a balance. It's a nice flat line around our whole course. So you can almost go to any market, any neighborhood.
The only difference with Toronto is when people want to buy a tear down or do a custom home, they're
That's
paying
the big diff.
bigger taxes, bigger land transfer. I think it's double land transfer tax there.
Yeah.
They're paying, so it's a little tougher in Toronto because being in the city just costs more. But other than that, I haven't had any kind of different prices where
Have you gone into? You haven't built in the core. Like, I mean, one of the things I liked about what you were saying is that you had a circle.
Right.
You figured out exactly where your business should be.
Right.
And you focused on that instead of spreading yourself all over the city.
Exactly.
Which is what the norm is for most contractors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We try to keep it within a certain radius so that, management is sustainable, because when jobs are too far, I get calls all the time for the other end of the city and all that. But if I don't have any management out there and the bulk of my homes are on the other end of Vaughan, then it's going to be very hard. The job's going to start to drag. Things are going to start getting missed. So I'll explain this to the client. I said, so things don't get missed. It's going to take me 1.5 years to do that build, not 10 to 12 months. I go, and that's simply because I can't get management out there every day.
So you're factoring in, or how do I express this? You're actually moneyballing this.
Right.
That's what you're doing. You're breaking down all the factors attached to this build to the point where how long will it take my site guy to get his coffee, to get to the job site, to get the ball rolling? You're doing all that
Right.
kind of, without just doing that. I mean,
And
specifically.
then how many other homes are going to suffer?
Exactly.
That he's
Yeah.
spending 4 hours a day out
when
there.
he can't go visit or site super or do all this other stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
one
production.
one day out here.
Because he's
could
got to
cost
get
us-
to the one odd
yeah.
one.
Exactly.
Or it
That'll
could
mess
take 3
everything up.
days to get out there because he's so busy. Yeah,
Right.
makes sense.
Meanwhile, he's got 3 homes to PDI here, but this house has all of its rough-in meetings that week, and he can't manage the sites anymore.
Yeah.
So what I'll have to explain to the client is, if that happens, I'm going to postpone your rough-ins because these ones take priority right now. I go, and that's kind of the case. So
But that's how you're looking at it, right?
if you want to spend an extra $100,000, I'll hire another super. I'll put him on your house for
And
the.
I have
for-
yet to
you
meet
know what I mean?
anybody who will do that, right?
Right.
They don't
Right.
see the value in doing that.
No,
You
so-
never know. That may be coming.
I always try to build a community with local contractors and stuff and guys that are in other cities, so I can defer work to people that are more local to where we get the calls
But
from.
you're factoring your suppliers too, right?
Right.
You're factoring in where everything's going and how it's starting, and also deliveries.
Right.
You're factoring all that stuff, man.
But it's almost like a military operation, right?
It has
Like,
to be.
If you just storm forward too far ahead and your supply lines are too far behind,
Exactly, yeah.
you're screwed.
It's a good way to put it.
You know, so that's smart.
so it's
when
very.
you-
Sorry, go ahead.
When you guys are doing your builds, like if you're building in an area, are you looking just to purchase homes that are already there, or are you looking to do new builds?
No, purchase homes that are for sale, and even door knock and see who's willing to leave for a bit of a healthier price.
So you're looking in, like when I say, sorry, I assumed you meant like houses that like 2-3 in a row. You're talking just in a certain community,
Yeah, so say we'll walk into a Etobicoke, find about 4, 5, 6 blocks.
like within like a 2 or 3 kilometer
Exactly.
radius. Gotcha.
Maybe
gotcha,
there's
gotcha.
5, 6 homes for sale in that neighborhood. Maybe we'll buy the lot and then door knock on other ones, door knock on all of them, and say, if you're willing to sell your home, maybe we'll pay a little bit over value for it so we can gather those homes all together.
So, Phil, you realize there's 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week and 12 months in a year and only, so many years we have.
Yeah.
How the hell are you doing this, man?
It's
It's very respectful. Honestly, hats out to you. Seriously, like very respectful. How are you doing this?
it all comes down to project management.
Your team.
Yeah. Everybody in-house. So we can bring in anybody we need. There's tradespeople everywhere, and everybody's going to work for the right price.
Yeah.
They'll work for the right crew too.
Right crew.
Yeah.
They turn down jobs and say, no, heavy duty is priority, because they know the job's going to be organized, it's going to be clean, it's going to be on time, and they're going to get fair rate.
Yeah. But if I'm doing stuff for you,
Yeah.
and you're paying what I'm asking for, and you're not complaining,
Right.
Here's what we
I'm
want.
making you happy. I'm
Yeah.
going to stay here. I'm
like,
happy.
hey, yeah, I'll drive down to Toronto for that. No problem.
This is the key for a project like this. Now, if you buy 10 homes, now it's just a matter of systematically starting them. So you figure every project in that house is going to take 2 weeks. Call it 2 weeks demo, 2 weeks framing, 2 weeks rough-in for plumbing, 2 weeks lecture, and you just move those houses 2 weeks at a time.
You domino. That's it.
Just like a kind of builder would do,
Yeah.
except in an existing area. That's all it is. It's just management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
So,
So
now
without
one house
the-
will be ready every 2
But
weeks.
versus guys like, if I have another client who's fighting me on everything, delays,
Right.
bitching about the price, I'm like, ugh.
Right.
I'll do everything possible.
But
not
I'm
to
sure
get to
that,
guy.
Phil, you and a heavy duty team, you guys are looking at, and if a client shows, so the client shows up like that, or something starts to kind of hint at something like that, or they actually say, okay, listen, we're going to have to put up the brakes on this next draw or like that. You guys are already, you're ready to shift. You're ready to shift for that.
Ready
Anticipate
all the
it.
times. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
But that's good. You're putting a lot of focus on, like, it's a chess move. You're always
Yeah.
like 5-6 moves
Absolutely.
ahead. You're not on the moment. You're looking what's coming up. You're anticipating,
Yep.
and then you're hoping for the best, but planning for the worst in a sense.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
often
smart.
have tradespeople ask me, why do you guys have so much admin staff? Like they get so many emails from different
Because
people.
more than half a building is the admin.
Right. They
Yeah.
don't realize that. Like, how can you be the guy on the tools, selling the job,
Can't.
paying for ordering everything?
can't.
You can do
with
one
hev-
project like
So
that.
heavy duty is you and who else?
So beneath me will be my main project manager, and now he's getting promoted to general manager, and chief operations is Phil Games. And then we have our head supervisor, which will be Giancarlo. Then we got our office admin, Mary. We have our in-house accounting, social media management. We have all of our media development team with heavy duty media. And then we have our general
I see that you
laborers and
guys are
site
really
runners.
good represented on social media. That's good.
Yeah.
Are you getting a lot of clients from that social media avenue?
Yeah.
So people are finding you, noticing you, getting you out there, and then they're contacting you.
Even if they don't find us on that and it goes through a word of mouth, they always go there first to look at the project.
But I
They'll go there before the website?
9 times out of 10, they'll call me and say, I checked you guys out on Instagram. I got your number from so-and-so. Everything looks really good. I want to get a quote.
But the word of mouth and the social, like, it's meshing
Yeah.
perfect. It's not like you've got this great look, you've got these things, and then when they meet you, it's just like, that's a big hot mess right there. We don't need that.
Right.
It's all meshing and jiving.
Everything's meshed. The
Yeah.
socials linked to the website. They both look alike. Everything is consistent. Everything's uniform.
Yeah.
And you can search it on anything and find that the platforms all match. The website, the insights on the websites don't do as much because that's kind of for the older generations now, guys that aren't really on social media. But
But you still track the data, so you could still see where
track
people
everything.
are.
Yeah. It's necessary. Even if there's 5 people going there a month to view it, it's necessary. If you get one job a year from a website, if you get one job in 2 years, it pays for that website
Yeah.
admin for 10 years.
So I'm a prospecting heavy duty home client coming at you, and I'm looking at all this, and I'm like going, geez, man, you guys must be expensive.
Right. A lot of people think that right off the bat.
They assume it, right?
Yep,
They
yep.
just get that, but you're
do you-
not expensive. I'd say you're mid to mid high.
Yeah,
is where
it's,
you're
it's
at.
fair. So
Yeah.
it really depends on the type
You're
of
a
job
pro-
you want to do.
Plus the work that you're delivering too. It's still custom.
Right.
Like, do you
Right.
vet your clients?
We vet everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a process. I don't even do consultations now. I do things called a discovery call. So
So even before you physically meet them,
yeah, they'll call admin or however they come to us, Instagram, whatever. We send them off to our administrator. Administrator will book a discovery call with me personally. I'll vet them on the call to see all the aspects of the home, what their reality is in terms of budget, and I'll try to have a good conversation with them, nice and stable, to kind of make sure that we're a good fit for each other. If that's the case and everything works out, we charge $500 up front that they have to pay out before we do a site visit. When we do the site visit, we show up with me, my assistant, and our designer. We do a full walkthrough consultation, measurements, and a floor plan for them. 1 week after that meeting, they come to our office for a full presentation to see on the big screen the floor plans, detailed, everything, pricing, design works.
all the costs.
Everything. And what the house is going to look like
For
because
$500.
we add all the plumbing features in there.
Oh, so you're already modeling it
We've done it.
Wow.
Yeah.
for $500.
$500.
That's a good deal.
So you're all in.
Not a 3D rendering, just
No,
a
no,
2D
no, no.
floor plan.
Yeah.
And
Still,
then
that's-
pictures.
But
Exactly.
with the amount of
Samples,
but with
reference.
the amount of people and work that's involved, that's
You know what I mean?
That's fair, man. That's awesome.
But you've already vetted them on the phone, so you've already got an idea. These clients are potentially our clients.
That's right.
So we know moving forward, if we present the heavy duty mission,
Right.
they're ours.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, these people have come to you and they've found you and they've seen what you're about. So they're already in that mindset of.
And from my first chat on the phone, if I tell them you got to budget $600 to $700 for that project, before you waste your $500 for me coming out, is that a sustainable budget for you? We were hoping to get it done for $500. No problem. Why don't you leave out the top floor? Maybe we can focus on the main floor, exterior windows and doors, whatever for now.
What do you do with people that are more tight-lipped when it comes to giving their budgets? Because a lot of people don't like to give a budget.
We don't even play that game.
Yeah.
You
that's
got to
smart.
know
Yeah.
when to fold them.
Yeah. Yeah. I see, guys, I can't work without a budget. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're not here to rob you. We're not here to max out your
A
number.
realistic budget too,
Yeah.
right?
But I also know a lot of people, like you say, like it's nice when people have, here's my wish list, here's the much money we have, and then you'll tell them whether that budget matches that wish list.
And see, they're more inclined to give you the budget after you've given them a range.
Yeah.
They don't want to give you a budget when you're just kind of talking. But if you say that this project you should budget $500 to $600K for, then they're going to spit their budget out. Well, we were hoping to do it for under $400.
Yeah. And
They
then
won't
you
give it to
tell
you
them-
first. They'll
and
give
then
it to you
tell
after
them
you give
what
them
they can
numbers,
get
yeah.
for $400. Yeah.
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 And it's usually 50% of what the actual number is.
Really?
Yeah.
They're off by that much.
It's always half. I don't know
What
how.
is? Did they go to the optometrist and put on the house filter, the Pinterest filter
Yeah.
on the optical? Is that what they did?
Something. And then you got to explain why and da-da-da. It
Yeah.
is what it is. Even before the pandemic, it's always been half.
So you haven't gotten tired of educating all these clients? You haven't gotten, listen, idiot.
I'm tired of talking.
Yeah?
I really am. But you got to do it, man. I love this business. I
It's
love
part
the
of it.
industry. And
Like I hate giving out free quotes on a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
if a job's small, I mean, on small
It's our
stuff,
job, man,
It's
you
just,
know?
it is as much as I hate to say it's part of the business model. But when I'm looking, like I'm just myself and one or two guys. Like there's only like 2 or 3 of us.
right.
But when we're doing a bigger project, I got to tell people, you're going to have to, I need something up front.
Yeah.
If you want me to give you a good estimated, like your 500.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a proper estimated budget for some people, it's anywhere from 15 to 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I can give you a quick number,
Yep.
looking at your bathroom, okay, 30 grand.
Oh, yeah.
Well, give us a detailed estimate, not for free.
Yeah. It's true, man.
Because then you'll take my numbers and shop it and
Yeah.
then come back and say, we're going to go with somebody else.
We don't let anybody leave with estimates anyway. Nobody leaves with paperwork or numbers.
Oh.
Ever. Presentations on the screen. Can we get a copy of this? When you're ready to sign up, you'll get a full copy of everything.
I like that.
Every
That's
time
good.
you want to talk to me about
Because you know why they want that copy.
they want to
Shop it.
shop, right? And then they
Yeah.
got a nice, beautiful written out booklet, 30 pages of my 12 hours of typing.
Erase heavy duty homes and
Yeah.
put Bob's backyard builder,
Exactly.
right? That's all it is.
That's what it
That's
is.
smart. I like
How
that.
much can you do this for?
Yeah.
So
We
don't give it.
I got to ask you guys a few questions. Phil's here. This has been amazing. I got a million questions for you, man. HeavyDutyHomes.com, heavy at HeavyDutyHomes.com, and on IG, it's Heavy Duty Homes Inc. Guys, is it possible to build a building in 28 hours and 45 minutes?
Depending on the
Did that ever happen in history of time?
Sure it did.
I'm sure. Yeah, I would
China
say, yeah.
built a building in 28 hours and 45 minutes. They achieved it. The Broad Group used the technology of prefabricated construction systems where self-contained modular units built in advance are assembled together on the structure, and they built an entire building in 28 hours and 45 minutes.
I know I saw some footage of them taking down a freeway and putting it back up over
Yeah,
the weekend.
it's impressive. It's very impressive.
Like 150 excavators.
What city is the most expensive city currently to build in right now?
I would
It's North
say
America,
North
Oh,
America.
North America. Canada or the U.S.?
U.S. Two names.
I would say Chicago.
Two
Two names.
2 names?
Not
New York?
Not St. Louis.
San Francisco.
And
San Francisco.
It's reclaimed that title as the most expensive place to build on Earth. A report from a consulting firm, Turner and Townsend, found the city previously held this top spot in 2019, but it recently just got that top spot again. What is the most expensive part of any building structure? It's actually a kind of a trick question, but the most expensive part,
HVAC?
nope.
I would say foundations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the foundation. Pouring a foundation is expensive. Often it is one of the most expensive parts of a building. A home, usually over most of the items on that list. A larger home's foundation will be more expensive to pour. The type of foundation and the climate you're building in also matters, which also will factor in the cost of that. I just thought I'd share that, gentlemen.
Yeah, I guess where it's colder and you got a frost line, you got to use a lot more underground.
And now recently learning about what they're doing in Florida as well. The foundations are crazy.
Because of what, all the hurricanes and stuff?
Hurricane and all that. Yeah.
Why is that we learn lessons after hurricanes? Why don't we learn lessons before hurricanes?
What kills me is hurricanes and floodplains and this and that. It's like, you guys need to stop building where disasters happen.
Well, I mean,
Hurricane Alley or Tornado Alley. Should we live here? Absolutely.
Here in Canada, I mean, the East Coast, all the homes that are just all the erosion from the earth, right?
Yeah.
Going right into the ocean. I mean, that's pretty heart-wrenching because you're dealing with Cape Cod style homes. These are just wood frame homes.
You build a house on sticks over a
it's
cliff,
beautiful. Like you
and then
walk
you get upset
outside
when it gets blown over.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So Phil, let's shift gears here now because it's very impressive. How did the whole Miami and LA heavy duty homes start? Where did that all come from?
I kind of always wanted to delve into the U.S. Just
Different
because-
market, no?
Different market. I came when I was young. I worked in a vehicle market. We used to build custom cars and bulletproof trucks, and 90% of our clients for the company I worked for were from the U.S. Everybody was buying bigger, better shit from the U.S. So when I got into the home market, I saw the same thing. A lot of people that were ordering from some of our suppliers, big orders and stuff that I've never seen, like plaster molds and everything. They were all getting shipped back to the U.S. So I've always been curious as to why they spend more and why they do it bigger. And then as I got a little bit older, I started spending more time in New York and Jersey and Florida and all that stuff and California. And you start to see it firsthand, the amount of money people spend at the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It's massive.
It's massive.
Yeah.
So you start to see a better avenue for success. Now, the formula is still the same. The customers are more picky, but they have the budget to back up their pickiness.
So when you say they're picky, in what way? What
They
respect?
want what they want.
The U.S., where there's success there's a lot more, for lack of a better word, I mean...
This is what I've always envisioned. This is what my wife, my husband, it has to be this.
Yeah, it's got to be this.
So they're very, very, okay.
Right.
All right.
If somebody has a green Lamborghini and they want to build all their furniture in their house to match the leather of that green Lambo, you better be able to source the Lamborghini to send you those rolls of leather to make it.
Yeah.
And whoever can't do it is out. But if you can figure it out, you're gonna get a nice payday.
Wow.
It reminds me of there's that show on TV, the legendary log crafters. They were building these log homes. They're based in BC.
Mm-hmm.
They go worldwide building these homes, and some of the places are like residences, and they're crazy. But people come in with this vision of these Scandinavian log homes, and they just have this flavor, however they came up with their design pattern. And they don't care what they want. They'll go shopping through like the plethora of just trees.
But are we not the same as builders? We're in this industry and we're
yeah.
very particular because we've seen every possible option out
We
there.
know what products we want to use
Yeah.
and what we want to work with. And
Yeah.
if
So they have every right to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know exactly what they want, and then sometimes when they start to see it being built, they change their mind, which
Happens.
it's frustrating no matter what. But they're more than willing to pay for
I
what
was
they
gonna
want.
say, if they have the budget for the overage and they're willing to pay for the change.
You got to have patience and not say, "Fuck, I got to take this all apart again." No. It's part of the job over there.
I've seen designers, they'll go in and they've repainted walls 10, 15 different ways.
yeah,
They'll
I've
put
seen that.
whole walls and people come in going, it's the wrong green.
You
And then
gotta
it goes
calmly
from
take a
green to
breath.
orange to red. Oh.
Different kind of clients,
Yeah.
like Miami and LA, similar kind of clients.
Very similar.
They're very similar, right?
Yep.
Just because
I don't want to call it entitlement, but I guess
there's money there.
They
There's
have
money
the,
there,
they have
yeah.
the
In
funding,
both those
they paid
ends.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even meet half the clients there. I work for coordinators, project coordinators.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're there to do your
We
part.
showed the client, like I have a brochure of heavy duty homes US that we send out for Miami and Los Angeles to send to the coordinators, to realtors, to developers, because half the people buying and building and renovating these spots aren't even from there. They're from like Dubai or something.
So these are just vacation or rental properties?
They have one person they trust in LA, and they'll pay that person to find a good contractor. That person will meet a realtor who says, "I work with heavy duty homes." And then that person will take our pamphlet, show it to their contractor and to the customer. And the customer in the other country is like, "Do you trust them?" "Yeah." "Okay, hire them."
It's like a chain of
And
command.
then
I
they
don't
go
even
through
meet
the,
them.
They go through the same process that you would here in Toronto.
Except it's me dealing with the project coordinator.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're my client.
So what is the crew down there? The actual construction crew, how are they there? Because I hear that's a big uphill battle too.
In Florida, it's bad. In
Is it bad?
Los
When
Angeles,
you say
it's
bad,
good.
what, Yahoos is just all cowboys?
You got to really be on top of everybody.
But again, you've also the guys that'll.
We had a fucking tile setter show up. Okay.
Whenever a story starts with "we had a fucking tile setter," you know it's going to be good.
He showed up on Monday. Okay, unpacked all of his stuff. Laid 5 tiles at the front door. Shit, I forgot. And he told our designers, I forgot a bag of something, a material, mortar, whatever the hell he was missing from his truck. I'm gonna run and get it. This guy came back 2 weeks later. All his tools were there. Everything, tiles were laid. We couldn't get a hold of him.
2 weeks later,
So we're trying to find this new tile setters now over there, and I flew back at this point to try to calm down the clients and everything. I'm like, I don't know what happened. This guy just walked in the middle of our meeting one day. He's like, sorry, I had to get my kid, and then we had some emergency things at home. I'm like, dude, answer your phone. I said, pack your shit and go. Just get out of here. That's kind of what you deal with in Florida.
But when you think about the fact that you had to fly down there,
Yeah.
like not like I'll jump in my truck, I'll be over in North York in like 2 minutes. You know, I had.
but
to,
so there's a lot of those kinds of trades out there.
it's nonsense.
but again, you're also trying to find the guys who are top in their field,
Yeah.
who do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Walk the walk, talk the talk,
So the whole thing with running
mitigating risk.
the whole thing with running jobs in the U.S. is you have to be able to do it efficiently. It's going to cost the client more money, number one, because we need to physically be there.
Yeah.
So if they want to buy a house for $4 million and do a $2 to $3 million renovation on it, or tear down and build, they will happily pay $500,000 to $1 million more to somebody who's structured and has a brand than they will to yahoos that are locals that they don't know.
That disappear for 2
But that's
weeks.
the number one problem with whenever I speak to Americans, they can't find those contractors because it's those yahoos that are out there.
Yahoos.
Well, I'm a member of a couple of different Facebook groups, and like when you listen to the guys talk in Florida and some of those states, it's like
It's
there's
so
no
bad.
cohesive continuity. Everyone's against everyone.
Yeah.
It is a nightmare.
So-
It's a nightmare. They need steady supervision.
On the positive side, how's the quality of the work from the trades that you guys are getting, that you are finding?
If you're on top of them, you can guarantee quality to your client.
Okay.
If you're not on top of them, they'll run
So there's
free.
passionate trades down there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they really respect the craft and everything.
100%. And
Now, are
you
you
tell,
finding trades in any other cities that are close enough to those areas that you can bring in and get
yeah,
down there?
so Miami's pretty bad for trades.
Yeah.
Why do you why
I would say lack of communication. So a lot of them don't speak English. You're speaking Spanish. It's all a lot of Cuban immigrants and stuff, and it's guys that just kind of know handiwork and patch. And because you can't have a real conversation, language barrier wise, you don't really know exactly what you're getting. So you got to hire people
You're
that
asking
work
questions
over
and
there
they're just
that
saying,
speak
yep,
their
we
language.
can do it, we can do it. And they
Yeah.
start doing it like, you cannot do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So language barrier is a big factor, and when you find somebody who's a good supervisor that can handle, like I found a project manager working out of Daytona.
Okay.
It was about 4 hours up
But
the
if
bay
they can
there.
speak all the
Who
languages.
can speak, run things from Toronto originally that I can communicate with. If I can get them to run the jobs down the coast for me and coordinate, that'll cost the client a lot less in terms of flights for us to go out there, because then every week it's going to be me rotating with games, rotating with Giancarlo.
It's again that chain of command. If
Right.
you can communicate with all the next people down the line
Right.
to the one who's far away, you don't need to make those
So
travels,
Phil,
jumps and leaps.
again, there's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 52 weeks in a year, 12 months in a year. Like I just like, how are you doing all this, man?
Right,
How many
right now I'm
projects-
just
how many projects do you have going on?
right now there's maybe like 16, 17. It's
Okay,
nothing like
so you
last
have
year.
it hasn't been like last year or the
Yeah.
previous year, but even still, as a young company, you guys are a young company as a
Yeah.
crew. 16 jobs, that's
That's
a
huge.
Yeah.
good amount, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, how are you? Is the phone constantly, emails constantly,
Yep.
everything's just constant, right?
It's constant. Yeah.
wow.
It's always like that, and it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, every day I just try not to have a heart attack. That's rule number 1 of the day.
If it was easy, we'd all do it.
You wake up and you tell yourself, don't have a heart
You
attack.
got to
today.
breathe. You got to start your breathing at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Because just get ready and then
5 seconds in, hold it for 5, and then breathe it out for
Yeah.
5.
Are you not doing the 4-day work weeks?
No, there's 7 days.
somehow we fit 8 in with the extra hours.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
Oh,
So-
yeah, because you've got LA, so you got
you got the time difference
zones.
at that point.
So
Have you
what
been
are they-
also
they-
forced to go flying to the West Coast?
Oh yeah, not for stupidity like
No,
that.
but just for
meetings,
jobs, yeah.
consultations, stuff like that.
What are
Yeah.
they, 4 hours behind or 3?
3.
3 hours.
3 hours difference, yeah.
3 hours difference.
They wake up 3 hours later than us.
I mean, are we still doing the daylight savings? 'Cause that's when
I
they
think
become
that's
sport.
Until
It's year
America
2.
and Canada gets on the same page, I don't know, or America's on one page. I don't know what the hell is going on
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell. I'm just waiting to see what the iPhone does on that day. It's usually automatic. If it doesn't happen, we'll
wake
know.
up and it's whatever time
yeah,
it is.
exactly. As soon as
Yeah.
you land, it just does it automatically, so you know.
Siri, what time is it? Time for you to go to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going to happen next year now? What are you anticipating for next year?
In terms of Toronto or U.S.
Well, I guess both of them, right?
Both. I'm putting a lot of my focus into the U.S. I hate to say it, but
You nervous about Toronto?
I'm not nervous about Toronto.
Okay.
I'm just kind of bored of it.
Okay.
Toronto bores me because people have. I think they lack imagination and budget over here.
You must have been reading my thoughts, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I agree with you.
I followed you for a long time now. You've always been very creative, and I kind of built my business model on that too, trying to
Thanks,
constantly innovate and do different things.
It's very narrow-minded here.
very narrow-minded. It's, I don't want any of that. We just want to do this.
It was very safe.
It's safe.
People want to
Yeah.
be safe in what's current trends
Yeah.
right now, and that's boring.
It gets boring.
Yeah.
So
But
they'll
that's
let
not
you-
the case in Miami or LA?
No, everybody wants to express themselves differently, and they got the funding to do so.
Yeah, it's the uniqueness, like not so much one-upsmanship,
Right.
but just more.
It's
more
personal to them.
Yeah, like more
They're not thinking resale value. They got 20 million, and they're gonna blow it.
uniqueness.
They want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, let's renovate because my life is here.
Yeah.
And I want to enjoy my life now.
Exactly.
So I want to be living in enjoyment right now. I
But
want to be in my paradise.
We're being told over here, build what you want to build, but it's always
Consider a for sale
consider
sign.
Always
the
consider
I've
resale-
always
consider
hated that.
resale.
I've always hated that about construction here in Toronto area.
Like every project I do, I got to be so focused on
Of
ROI
course,
that
yeah.
you can't be
We
creative.
like this color. We like that. Designer comes in. Well, maybe cloud white.
Don't
Yeah.
do that because you won't be able to sell it. Don't do that because
Yeah.
you won't be able to
Yeah.
do this. And like, maybe you should be the one that's going to go, not me, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
There's zero thinking outside the box here. We're just dealing with drones everywhere we go, and it really gets boring. It's survivable. I mean, you can grow doing it. You can make a success of yourself doing it, but I like to do things differently.
How much bigger is the team here now? Has it grown or you guys stayed the same?
We've stayed the same. We've grown our admin a little bit.
Okay.
Like your home base is Toronto.
Yeah. Now I've been putting a lot of focus into the U.S., so I'm trying to grow those two areas, which is very hard to do from here.
So how is that? Because I know that there's a lot of rules and regs and all kinds of crap going on that
Yeah.
when you're Canadian, you go stateside and you start building. Some states are like Florida's a tough state to work in legally, like perfectly the way you're supposed to legitimately do it. LA, I think, is similar, but then I also hear like Texas is a wild, wild west. Anybody can work in there.
Like,
Right.
do you need any special visas to be working there?
Technically, you need a visa to work, to produce work.
Yeah.
You don't need a visa to manage.
Oh, okay, really?
Smart.
So I've applied for an E2 visa for the company now.
Okay.
So what that allows me to do is to send employees under the company name to supervise people that are other than me. So we can constantly be flagged that Heavy Duty Homes is crossing, but as long as there's an E2 visa in place, it's okay.
Got it.
Nobody's going to get stopped at the
But
border.
also too, if you open a subsidiary company in the States with this name and you employ so many
Exactly.
then you get green card or something.
So
isn't
it's not green card,
green
what we're
card, but-
doing here.
it? Or
Green card's much harder to get.
not green card, but you know what I mean? Like you have
Residency.
residency. That's
Residency.
Right. So I'm not even looking for that. Basically, I just want the E2. So if I employ 2 people of the U.S. per office and then create work for sub-trades around and keep $100,000 personally invested either into tools or into a property or something into your own money, your paperwork now gets put to the top of the pile at customs.
Oh, I see.
At U.S. entry and border and all that stuff. So they process your E2. You're giving them no trouble. They want to make sure you're not going there to drain the welfare system.
Yeah. Or take away a job.
This person's
that an American
invested.
can
This
do,
person has money, and
You're
they're planting it.
member to society.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now a lot of our clients in Canada are using our realtors in the U.S. to purchase property. I'm doing luxury flips on them. So we're turning a lot of condos into luxury Airbnb rentals for them. Wow. So now we're bringing Canadian money into the U.S. So they're even more inclined to let us in there. So we had a couple meetings at City Hall in Northport, Florida for building. These guys are like, you guys are coming from Canada. You have all green lights from us. Like we sat with the committee of adjustments and a couple city planners, and they were willing to grant us every opening over their local workers.
Wow. Here's the question.
They need people to come in.
Is it work the other way around?
No.
Or we being like Canada's just being stupid? They're not inviting the Americans up here to build up here.
I don't think they want to come here.
Nobody wants to come up here.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, no?
Yeah. They know it's better there.
Wow.
Yeah. Nobody wants to come where it snows.
Yeah.
Not from a place where it's always sunny.
It snows in New York.
And the only people that really enjoy Canada from the U.S., I would say, are the uneducated ones that come here for social health care.
Yeah.
It's true.
They talk about the medicine. Meanwhile, I got to give them a story about, how terrible it is and how you get what you pay for and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Exactly, right? And why more and more Canadians are going private care.
Exactly.
For that very reason, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So much to learn. Every day's a school day.
So how did you pick up all this stuff? Did you just start doing your own R&D, or somebody kind of started saying, well, you realize that there's this opportunity and then there's this opportunity. And if you start getting in and showing that you're an established company in Canada and you want to establish in the States and you want to actually bring infrastructure into the States,
right?
You'll be open arms.
That's exactly how it started. So every time I go away or take a trip, personally, vacation, anything, I can't help but look at the architecture and talk to people and notice things. And when you live and breathe the industry, you're just interested and you're curious about other things. So it got to a point where I was going down to Florida so much because the pandemic had everything closed in the beginning and Florida wasn't. I was just going down there just to enjoy myself. I started making friends, seeing the same people at the restaurants, meeting realtors, talking to builders, and then it started to become a snowball effect. You build a network of people that could use your service.
Yeah.
And they're like, we really lack good contractors here. We can't find anybody to build these homes.
I've heard that so many, thousands of times I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of they lacked a good contractor. They're lacking supervision. They're lacking management, and they're lacking leaders. So if we can take that as a position and then find local people that are willing to do the work and quality work and just stand on top of them, we can make a success over there.
Do you have any of your guys here? So in terms of you have your office, your staff. Mm-hmm. Do you employ directly any tradesmen, or are they all subs?
We do employ.
So do you
in-house divisions?
Do you have any of your guys from up here going down south or out east?
Just,
or out west
just
side?
my admin staff so far.
Yeah.
None of the tradespeople.
Because
Anybody
they,
physically
because they
doing
can't
the work.
physically
Exactly.
do the work. Yeah.
So this is strictly a management thing. That's
right.
I mean, anybody who's a successful builder is a management. They're an expert on that.
Atlas Kitchens obviously is my main kitchen provider.
Frank,
Frank will build me a kitchen and we'll ship it down in a cube truck, and then Frank will fly down there and supervise the install.
As long as he doesn't do the install.
Right.
Hire
a local installer.
Manage it.
So he produces the product here,
sends
it down,
Yeah.
and then a local installs it.
Yep.
So you get like a TC or whatever, just installing it down there, a local person.
And then our GC on site is constantly confirming measurements and if things move or change. And it's a lot of FaceTiming, a lot of calls, a lot of emails back and forth, but we can produce 100% product.
Cost effective for Frank, for Atlas? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I mean, if the kitchen's $50K, you budget $60, but the clients over there don't care. They feel good knowing that there's a crew working on it.
They're just happy somebody's there getting it done, and
an extra 10 G's will cover the flights, the trucking, and the installer over there or whatever. But it's nothing crazy. That's why I mean, over the course of the job, if the job's a $2-3 million job, then they're going to spend an extra 200, 300, 400, 500,000 overall.
At that point.
But they can sleep at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Are
see
you
the-
doing the same with other suppliers? Are you looking to try to grow the supplier list from Canada over to the stateside?
No,
You can't, right?
cabinetry and millwork is the one big important one.
Okay.
That we can't really let go of, but everything else over there, they know how to produce their craft.
So tile supplier, but I mean, what's the lumber like down there now? Like, I mean,
Same shit.
same bullshit, right? Same price point, everything's the same.
Everything's the same.
Is the idea that so you're planning on here in Toronto next year, focusing on divisions and trying to get blocks, and that's going to be the next step as well for Miami and LA.
Exactly.
Start looking to do the same thing there, right?
Start to wean away from more of a customer-based renovation and just kind of sell our own product. We're going to try it. I don't ever want to shy away from customers that call us because that's always where our loyalty belongs. But if we can produce and it's successful to buy blocks and sell blocks, then we're going to do that because it's a lot more manageable. We're not working for people. We're working for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's very manageable when people don't want to make changes.
Well, that's the nice thing is that you got a lot of successful builders that got into the industry and they started that whole route where they took the house to 70, 80%,
Right.
then sold it to somebody and they made the final decisions. And then we didn't have all that headache with clients
Right.
not understanding that first 70, 80% of building.
Exactly.
And like, get out of the house. We don't need
Yeah.
you here. Come back in when we want to choose colors and choose finals, right?
Yeah.
Fixtures and things like that.
This is where Toronto's easy. All we got to do is build them safely.
Yeah.
Finish them all safely.
But
Design.
but then you get on the board train.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Right.
with your guys that are down there, that you've got your subs and all that set up, once you've got a good relationship with them, you're reusing the same guys, and they're like it's you know what I
Pretty
mean?
much, yeah. We always stay loyal to the guys that are good.
Yeah, get rid of the trash and
Yeah.
get the good guys in. Now, in terms of keeping them busy, like you're keeping them now, because they're subs, so are you keeping them busy full time, or are they like adding you into their workload
Right now,
already?
it's not full time over there because we don't have enough.
Oh, I got you.
I still am doing one here, one there, all
they're-
over the place.
But you're
but
communicating with them, so you know what time frames fit with what, and everyone's.
I tell them it's very important right off the bat that this job becomes a priority from the day you commit to taking it on.
and basically price this and budget this accordingly so that you make this a priority. Don't give me like
Exactly.
Don't tell me it's going to be 30 grand and you have trouble getting here.
I
Tell me it's going
price
to be
it.
50 grand and you're going to be on the ball when we need you.
Exactly.
Your bond is your word, kind of thing.
I price it over there and give them their budget. I say, so you have 65K in 3 months to get this thing managed and complete. Can you do it? Oh my God, that's amazing. Yes, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Because they're used to fighting and pricing
Yeah.
and this and that. But if I tell them right
They're
up the
used
bat,
to it
I'll be
there, yeah.
transparent. What's in the budget? No problem. Your lifts will come at each milestone that you complete.
It's like we say, like we're not like stop racing to the bottom,
Right.
race to the top.
But you're going into a market that is so used to the cowboys
Yeah.
and not organized, and you're organized coming into the market.
Yeah.
So it's a godsend at that point where
It's-
they look at it and go, yeah, I want to work with you now.
Yeah.
Because that makes a lot of sense. Now you're guaranteeing me that 65 is going to cover this management fee, and all of a sudden you got to get the scope done.
Right.
Here's the time, here's the schedule, and we're giving you everything.
Right.
You actually already planned all that stuff.
Yep.
Now go to town and just build it.
And
They,
you get
they
it.
don't want to let us down because they want more of that.
Of
Yeah.
course, they
You-
want another
you-
project.
You
Yeah.
get it done, you get that. The next thing you know, they're talking to their friends and they're like, hey, you know, Phil just did the Hartmans. Maybe
Yeah.
you should come over here and look at our, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's smart.
Wow. Everybody, heavydutyhomes.com. Heavy at
This
Heavy
little
Duty
thing, that's
Homes.
awesome.
It's everything on the same website. It's on the the Miami, the LA. Anybody from the States can reach
Yeah, they
out.
can get links from all the websites.
Wow.
Everything's there. Yep, all together.
So heavy at heavydutyhomes.com, and on IG it's Heavy Duty Homes Inc. Gentlemen, OBC talk deflection. How much do we know about deflection?
What do you got?
What is the allowable deflection? So deflection is defined as the bending or the sag caused by loading. Allowable deflection is generally expressed as a fraction of the span in inches. All structural members will deflect or flex under load. I personally do not agree with the allowable deflections.
I think the last one I read was 10 mils over 16 feet.
So I've got
I was going to say quarter.
0.8. This is Imperial.
Yeah.
So I know. This is North America, man. Also the Americans listening. 0.8 inches of deflection over 8 feet.
Over
0.
8 feet.
So that's 3/4 of an inch.
That's insane.
That's the
Zero?
allowable OBC.
3/4 over. How
That doesn't sound right.
So that 0.8 inches. No, that's not right. You're right. You're totally right. No, I made a mistake. Over 96 inches.
Okay, so that's like an
Sorry,
eighth.
that's an eighth of an inch.
Yeah,
That's
because
an eighth.
Is,
That's
an
eighth
eighth
of
is,
an inch,
An eighth
sorry.
is 0.125.
Over 8 feet. What did you say? You said
10 mils over 16 feet.
so 10 mil is half an inch.
right.
No, 10
mils
mil.
is 3/8.
10
It's
mil
in
is
between
3/8.
3/8
Yeah.
and half. It's in the
Okay.
middle of that,
Yeah.
right? So call it 3/8 of an inch over.
16 feet.
So basically, this
Yeah, it's the
is
same- yeah, the same,
It's
yeah.
almost the same
Yeah.
Thing,
It's
yeah.
almost the same. Yeah. That's on midspan of joists. So how much deflection in a floor is acceptable? So there's the rule that you can
None.
actually. Sorry?
None.
Oh, I know, none. What is the acceptable deflection for a floor that will be tiled? Traditionally, the acceptable minimum requirement for floor rigidity is L over 360. So basically what you're doing is you're getting the length and you're dividing it by 360, and that gives you the amount of deflection that you're going to get based on that. So there's different deflections for tile substrates
Different
or live
floorings.
loads and dead loads.
I have seen the math on this.
Oh, I know.
Mike Holmes did it. It's
What?
called the bounce test.
Yeah, whatever.
And it
Yeah.
was him. And a
Mike
couple of
who?
dudes.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
HOLMES.
So where is the maximum deflection for cantilever beams? The maximum deflection will occur when the load is located at the free end of the beam. So if you've got a cantilever beam, it's no longer in the center now. It's at the point end sticking out, right?
Yeah.
Why is it excessive deflection? Or sorry, why is the excessive deflection of a floor beam not acceptable? Excessive deflection may create problems for floor or roof drainage. Excessive deflection, we've seen roofs where it has the bellies and
Yeah.
in between rafters, may lead to crack in plaster, which is uplift, or ceilings, and may damage the material attached to or supported by the beam. There may cause undesirable twisting and distortion of connections and connecting materials. So basically, it goes right back to structure.
I would say
Change
the
it.
exact same thing. 1/8 over 8 feet
Yeah, 1/8 over 8 is our acceptable OBC, which
for cantilever.
I think it's too much. I don't think there should be any.
There shouldn't be.
I think it
Yeah.
should be 0.
To be fair, we had a project where they allowed a client to open up a wall, but they had 2x8 framing.
How old's the house?
It was maybe a 60s build in Etobicoke.
Okay.
They wanted to take out a major load-bearing wall, kind of open up the kitchen and everything. So I could get a 6-inch W8 I-beam in there,
Because they steal, right? Yeah.
which was underrated. But when we welded a 3/4 inch plate on top of it, because the next beam would have caused them to strap all their 8-foot ceilings down 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
To avoid that, they allowed us to weld a plate on. But it hit that deflection rating of about 10, 11 mils over that span.
So that weld that they did, was that a continuous weld or just like in sections?
There was a spot weld every 6 inches all around the plate.
Gotcha.
So it brought the deflection rating from 22 mils down to 11 or 12 mils over the 18 or 19-foot I-beam.
Yeah.
So-
I do a lot of that. Well, I
can-
have done a lot of that where you're getting rid of
Right.
like LVLs, 12-inch, all this nonsense, the glue lams,
Yeah.
and sticking in like W beams, H beams,
Exactly.
just to get
And then you got to pack it with LVLs on the
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
and through bolt those, and yeah,
But in that situation, I can kind of understand deflection tolerance because it's almost impossible to eliminate it without dropping the ceilings too low or putting a post where it shouldn't be.
yeah.
Kind of ruining so if they want a design a certain way, they have to understand there's going to be a little bit of movement in that ceiling above.
Yeah.
It's the
There's a
way it
lot of
goes.
risk, and that's where
Yeah.
you start getting into the whole over-engineering now, because every homeowner is asking for all the walls to be gone on the main floor,
Right.
which those walls actually contribute to structure and avoiding racking and the house actually shifting. So it's
And they only ever think about the beam upstairs. They never think about the point loads going down, getting into the
No, I
basement,
know.
having to excavate,
So
get your footings in. Like it's
it's nice, but you got to understand something. So at that point, maybe what you do is you actually rip the roof off and you start raising it up, and you don't go 2x8s.
There
and
you go.
go to proper W, and you go 11 7/8 I joists, and now you minimize deflection at that point.
There you go.
But then that starts to cost.
Now
a lot.
we're into the U.S. budgets.
Yeah, that's basically
might
what
as
it
well
is.
just knock it down and start from fresh.
Wow. So any plans with? I mean, heavy duty. Does it make sense to go out to Vancouver, or it's not?
I've had one request for a build out there. That's it.
Okay,
I have never been there myself. I have
because they
no
spend a lot of
idea.
money out there.
Yeah, I've heard. I've only heard. I have to educate myself on Vancouver.
It's a different kind. You're building a lot more for Mother Nature.
I got a bad
wet.
taste in my mouth from Canada in general right now.
Wet.
So
It's just wet.
it just doesn't
I
excite
don't think
me.
you're the only one out of the 38 million here. So it's kind of interesting. So anywhere else in the States you're looking at?
Texas.
Texas, huh?
Yep.
You know what? I've got a good friend that she's always dropping me a line, sends me a text, and she's in Austin, and she's begging for me to go down there and help her build and do things and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And I was like, I don't know anybody. She goes, I just need you to come down and
Wait
just
till you
manage.
see
I
the
trust
toast.
And they're in their own world in terms of manufacturing and
you.
pricing.
100%.
They're half of everything.
Yeah, exactly, right? The amount of infrastructure that they have there is
Yeah.
insane.
It's crazy.
But again, they can't get enough good tradespeople there.
Yeah, things are affordable, and now they lack professions and everything.
So what two hurdles are you seeing? Is there a difference really between Florida and California? You're seeing
Taxes.
like California is obviously
yeah,
higher because
really bad.
That's what I was going to ask.
They're really
Everything
high
in
on
Toronto kind of
the-
takes from what California does. So
yeah, because they're really pushing the environmental, getting just everything as
California implements
low-
first, Toronto
yeah.
follows suit, or Ontario, I should say, follows suit.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. So their taxation rates are astronomical. To do a job there and to leave, they take 65% of your profit by the time it's done. I almost have to run everything through the Florida site.
What about permits and stuff? Like is it
It's a little bit worse
like
than
more
Toronto.
hoops, like more
Especially if you're building in the hills.
Now, are you also dealing with like quake zones, and you're dealing with all that?
Everything goes through storm, earthquake ratings. It's very different from here in terms of the front loading of the job before something gets produced.
What about when it comes to building with like insulation? Like, is it the same?
No.
There's not as much, right?
Just concrete?
Yeah, it's all.
They spec concrete.
Yeah.
No insulation.
Well, they're not, because those parts, they don't need it. It's not required.
Right.
And if it was, then they actually be doing the reverse.
Right.
Right. So the vapor barrier would be on the outside versus the inside. It's just
You can
turned
do
around.
all single pane commercial glass and concrete, and you're rated for insulation as long they care more about the structure points
Yeah, just from a falling down
and
perspective.
air filtration. They don't even do heat loss calculations.
They don't do it.
No.
So they, but
Actually,
they,
the
but
better,
is it,
the more it is, the better, probably.
Right.
is it still it's still forced air though, or are you doing radiant?
It's forced there. It's forced there. They just don't care.
But it's more air conditioning than it is.
It's all AC.
It's there's no heating.
They never. Cali will run the heat here and there, but everybody pretty much runs air conditioning 24/7.
Wow.
Even during hurricane time in Miami.
It's still a hot wind.
Still hot. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Now, when you say like concrete, so is there a lot of wood timber framing going on?
Not much. No.
No,
it's
it's a Caribbean mindset. It's
But
like,
they're
but
built
I've
like
se-
commercial.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Even all the resi too, eh?
Yeah, you do wood for like certain points and structure and design elements and stuff like that,
okay.
but it all needs to be fire treated, fire sprayed, and then
Yeah.
everything else is metal stud and concrete. All of our exterior walls are concrete, and then we just kind of face the side with stucco and stuff like that because it needs to be able to withstand a car being thrown at it.
Crazy.
Because that never happens, right?
Even if you're building anywhere near streets or like coastal builds, they require you to build your window jambs with a track imprint so they can screw window protectors against it.
Okay, for like when they board it up and
Yeah.
stuff.
So like here where we set our windows with a brick mold, you have to actually build a concrete blockout for them to leg roller systems in.
So what kind of because the hot air coming off the ocean, that's a salty air.
Yeah.
What kind of corrosion does that present on a lot of those buildings?
I think I haven't been around long enough to see it yet, but from what I've been talking with the guys, they just have to wash their stucco.
Okay.
Literally just
It's
a
the
power
concrete.
wash.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just the way it's
But
designed.
that's not
Yeah.
something that's coming up in terms of a spec.
It's
build.
not
No,
rotting
but
anything.
it's concrete. It's the old European way of building things, and then the Caribbean way of
Well,
building
it's goofy
things.
as it
Right?
sounds. So I had a client. He did all the windows in his place, and after like 5 years, all the screens on the back of the house for the patio door, everything was literally. We couldn't get the pins out because on a
all
vinyl
jammed
window
up.
with an aluminium screen,
Yeah.
the pins are.
I can maybe see that down in the Keys, like Key
But
West.
what it was so they salt the 400 series highways. So the salty mist coming off those highways, blowing onto his house, over time, the salt reacted with the aluminum in the window frames.
wow.
and all
Yeah, I can see that,
And it
yeah.
corroded and locked. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So I just think about houses that are on coastal.
Yeah.
You know, like you ever been on a cruise and
Never.
but like mid cruise, you'll
Don't
always
want
see
to.
like all the people that work on the ships. They're always going over and they're just covering all the rust in new white,
Yeah.
whatever color the ship is. They're painting it all the time.
Constantly cleaning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
So, Phil, I want to go back, and you can share as much as you want regarding the tax. It's still profitable for you to do this, even though
And anything we do in California, I have to run it through the state of Florida.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Just California's just nastiness with their taxes,
Wait,
right?
what do you mean? What do you mean? You got to run it through Florida?
So the accounting, everything gets billed through the Florida site.
Oh, so your offices are in Florida,
Yeah.
and as far as they're concerned, you're doing
All the
job
addresses and
in
work.
California,
Right.
But it's like having an LLC based in.
Even though we have like a WeWork center like this in
Yeah.
LA, nothing gets billed to that.
Gotcha.
None of the bills go there. Everything goes to Florida. And then the accountant has to just make sure that I don't go to jail.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
that's it.
I see.
Because then if you make 300 grand on a job, you're going to go home with maybe 90 of it
Yeah.
by the time they're done ripping you off.
That's California.
That's California.
Well, it's like being a Canadian resident. Wherever you make you can be a resident of Canada. You can have a business in Germany, New Zealand. Doesn't matter where your businesses are.
Yeah.
Providing you're a residential Canadian citizen, wherever you make your money, the government wants its share of all your income.
Yeah, and that's why the wealthy do not have
But I'm
their
saying,
money
but
going
then-
to Canada.
but then you have-
it's going to Bermuda,
But then and-
which has what? A 0% tax.
But like if you're a resident of Ireland, like you too.
Yeah.
If you're a resident of Ireland and your business resides in Canada, then great. They don't care. But if your business is in Ireland, you make money in Ireland, they want
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of something.
But it's no different than like this is still applicable to construction.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I just said, just the most of construction doesn't
Have you
realize that
visited
it's
Antigua,
applicable.
Turks and Caicos? I hear they're lovely.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm saying. That it's not illegal. It's just they're being clever about how to do it. That's all it is, right?
You have to constantly play in the back roads.
Because if you made it completely the way the system was designed to be made,
You'd never make any money.
exactly.
Yeah, the system's designed to benefit the government.
That's 100% true.
They always have to have their mouths and hands open. So
So what kind of interesting builds are you guys doing in Miami and LA? Like what kind of
Miami, there's 2 commercial spots. One's a barber shop and the other one's an ice cream shop.
nice gelato or just regular American ice cream?
American ice cream shop. Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing fun.
I like gelato, man.
It's all been condo renovations and stuff like that right now.
But you're
and
getting your feet wet, which is really
Right.
cool, right?
I don't really want to post all the small stuff we're doing because I don't want to get tagged to that market.
Yes.
So while we're working on only the big stuff, when we land those big stuff, and then they ask, can it not be posted? Can you keep a non-disclosure?
I can picture, yeah.
That kinda hurts
yeah,
too.
Yeah, I know, but I could picture the clientele being that way.
Yeah. If a designer wants to get their name out, it's kind of hard if they have a client that says, no, don't post any of my stuff.
You got to be respectful to the client. That's
You have
just
to.
bottom line, right?
Yeah, you're either going to get paid or you're not. So.
Until they get divorced, and then they're probably angry, and they go, post as much as you want. I don't care. She
Yeah.
took it. I don't care.
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
exactly.
I know. But no, what I like is that you're there, and you're actually getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
And you're learning the ropes, so to speak.
You got to start small.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Until
it's,
because you know a big project is coming.
you can't fuck something up on a large scale.
No.
Small scale, you
You got to be ready
reverse
for it.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a road trip down there, right?
Right.
That's what it becomes, and then it's just pure fun. That's all it is.
It's
right?
a lot of fun, and the problem with Miami and Los Angeles is very easy to spend whatever you make. So while you're down there and you're not
Mojitos?
living there, you feel like you're on vacation.
Yeah, I know.
So you go to the nice restaurants, you drink the nice drinks, you go to the nice clubs and stuff, and then you realize
You come home and go to pay your
spend
bills, and I'm
eight
like,
grand this
uh-oh.
weekend. Yeah. What the fuck did I do?
So are all the other local builders doing that too as well?
No, they don't care. They just
don't-
go home.
They
got
just
their
go home.
families there.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah, to
for
them
me,
it-
I'm like,
to them
okay,
it's a day
I'm
at the
here
office.
alone. What am I going to do tonight? Oh, there's a 6 steakhouse down there. $1,000 later. I go, shit.
Oh, that's too much, man.
Yeah.
That's too much. All right, guys, a little bit of Green Book talk.
Mm-hmm.
What are the 3 principal regulations under OSHA, our Green Book?
3 principal regulations.
The right to know about health and safety matters. The right to participate in decisions that could affect their health and safety. And the right to refuse work that could affect their health and safety and that of others.
Right.
What is the main purpose of the OSHA or our Green Book? The act, known as the Occupational Health and Safety Act, which came in 1993. Act 85 consists of 50 sections approved by Parliament. The purpose of the act is to provide for the health and safety of people at work or in connection with the use of plant and machinery. I'm going to now list the 50. No, I'm not. That's the extent of Green Book, man. Well, there's 50 sections. I didn't know that there was 50 sections, man.
We have them on our sites. Do I read them? No.
They're there as long as they're posted. But I mean, I can imagine reading all 50 of them and trying to figure out
That's crazy.
what's covered or how it's covered.
What's
or
the verbiage and is it something
all
that
that.
we
And
can
someone
even
sat, and I'm pretty
comprehend?
sure someone that's not in construction sat down and figured all that out.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. They probably could have taken a little bit of, spoken to people in the industry.
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't know, but
That's true.
that was a little bit of green book talk. What else you want to share there, Phil? What else is going on? How's everybody? How's the whole team?
Everybody's good.
Yeah.
How are you finding people? Like, how do you go about finding local guys, whether it's here or down there in those places?
It's all word of mouth, pretty much. So you step onto other job sites sometimes and just you have to go into other builds and ask guys if they're taking on more work. Either it's a GC or it's a trade you see working somewhere. And you have to call designers and architects and ask for trades out of the blue. Like it's starting from scratch
But
again.
once you find one or two solid guys,
They know
solid guys
people.
usually know solid guys.
They know people.
Like,
I gotta ask you something, Phil. A lot of these guys earlier on in the show when we were talking about, you were saying that a lot of guys were getting shafted by the final build there.
Yeah.
Have some of these guys been approaching you going, listen, I want to be a part of that heavy duty banner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I could see that happening.
Some guys just don't want to deal with the business anymore, and they want to throw the tools down and come work for us full time, and lead a division or something like that. The problem is everyone wants to make 150 grand now. Everyone wants a
And a
salary.
truck.
They want a vehicle.
And a
They want a
truck.
phone, and
An electric truck.
when it
4-day work
when it
weeks.
comes time to production,
yeah,
it doesn't really add up. So
Speaking of which, where's the cyber truck?
where it should be, in its design concept.
So why are all these kids, I'm assuming they're kids, why are they asking for so much money?
I don't know.
What's the?
I don't know where it came
What's
from.
the age of the guys you got working for you?
It's all between 25 and 40.
Yeah, it's a young
Young,
outfit,
man.
man. It's a
It
young
is.
outfit.
Yeah.
So you're getting approached by young,
Yeah.
right?
Young
And then
guys,
they
yeah.
want to be a part of this because I see it and they're going to listen to this. And
Right.
unfortunately, I'm sorry, Phil, but they're probably going to reach out to you
Yeah,
because
it's
of this,
okay. It's
right?
okay.
And then they're going to want to talk to you. But I guess they have to have realistic expectations.
Yeah.
150K in a truck is not realistic expectation.
If you were to follow like union rates for most of these trades, it's between 70 and 90K a year.
Yeah, that's in line.
That's in line, yeah.
Yeah.
And most guys that are on their own and produce a good product don't want to work union rate. They want a lot more, which it's understandable if they produce a better product than what a lot of the union guys produce. The difference is they're working every day, whereas if you bring them on as a super or a lead division member, they're not on the tools every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a wash. You gotta take a hit financially, but eventually save your body and stress. So
But if you can find a guy that can do that, produce and
Yeah.
put forth, I mean,
we do, and unfortunately
f-
they're not locals and they're not
Yeah.
from here. A lot of them are like Mexican or something like that, and
yeah.
they'll come here. They'll be ready to work. They'll take a regular paycheck and they'll kill themselves because they've come from much worse
Yeah.
living standards and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what happened with the Italian and Portuguese when they came here in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah.
They were the only ones willing to work and build for next to nothing. And when I say next to nothing,
They all had.
It
kid-
was next to nothing. That
They all had kids, and now nobody wants to.
it was cents for a brick.
there was no
It
question. They
a
had to
dollar
work.
per hour.
Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah, it was.
they had a skill and they had to build a life.
but
There
they
was
didn't
no-
have the distractions we have too.
Right.
There was no this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had your version of this, whatever it was, but
Yeah, but somebody is feeding them that mindset. I'm worth 150K.
Right.
But I'm seeing it now. Like I'm seeing guys who are like I'm 49. He's 50. How old are you?
34.
Like I mean, you're like that's fucking awesome. Fuck me.
Like for that split second there, you went back in time and looked at what you were doing at 34, and you're going, "Oh shit, somebody give me a gun."
I mean,
You know?
I was doing what I'm doing now. I was just doing it in less pain. I was.
But why not try to
humping and
figure out?
hustling.
Okay, I don't understand these 150 guys.
But what I'm seeing now is just like what I see is like guys that are like in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're giving up on. They've been working in pick your field, whatever. I see
10 years.
I see electricians. I see plumbers. I see guys that are invested into a trade.
Yeah.
Who are just saying, "Fuck it."
But
I'm
I
done."
bet you any money, those same guys, they're also thinking about something on the side. It's no different than you. You started heavy duty with a certain mindset. You built it. You got it to that point. You have the crew. And now you're taking another risk and
Right.
then another risk. No different. HVAC and the top 3 can always do that.
But we're getting pumped with like, go and live your passion, this and that. And I'm seeing guys who are electricians, who are plumbers, I saw a plumber who went, it's like golf pro. He gave up that to be, making a lot less money. But again,
everybody leaves
it's
something.
It's following your passion. I guess because, me personally, I've got mouths to feed. There are people that depend on me. So for me, leaving, that option's not at this party.
Right.
And if
it's not about leaving, you're pivoting.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing is that you've built your model and you're going, listen, hang on a sec. This model, I could apply it here.
No, but I'm saying with the social media, with everything that's being like fed down and what we're hearing is too many guys because they're not getting what they want. So now that's why we don't have the interest in the trade.
So here's the problem. It's the expiration date on that getting what you want.
Well, because it has to be now.
Exactly.
It's not putting in the 10, 20
Phil,
years.
everything that you worked on, did it happen overnight?
No.
Fuck no. Nothing ever happens overnight. Maybe a bad decision with certain people, whatever, but it takes time. And I think that a lot of these guys that are reaching out, you correct me if I'm wrong, do you see that they want to be with heavy duty for a long time, or do you see that they want to be with heavy duty for a year or two and make that 150K and then get the fuck out of Dodge?
It looks like they want to be around for the long haul.
So they see the value of being associated with you guys, so they can learn and build and maybe stay with you. Absolutely. Or possibly open up a different. So like, Phil, I'll go to Texas. I'll do the Texas one. Or if there's another city.
That's what they want. They want to expand.
That's the opportunity. Yeah.
The thing is, you start them at 150. Next year they want 2. The year after they want 250. And then
go 151.
You're out of a guy.
Go 150 00091 or something like that, right? That's
but you're seeing guys that want to come on and they want to work. They want to come on and be part of your team. And you hear guys like, I know Jim said it. I know a few other builders have said like that they want their guys to learn and go forth and then be their own guy. But then the problem we're facing now is so many people are trying to do that, but now there's no guys for anyone else. So like, there's no guys.
Right.
You need guys. I need guys. We all need people. Just even Philip and
you know what? It's really simple. It's like, Phil, if you said to your crew, we're going to go to Miami and LA. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, the second thought out of your head is, we're building a 10,000 square foot house in each place. Everybody's shitting bricks at that point.
Right.
But if you go, we're going to Miami and LA, we're going to start with this small condo, simple place, and a storefront. That's it. Mm-hmm. Now everyone's confident. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. This other generation's coming in. I want to build a 10,000 square foot house first.
Yeah, let me do that.
I tell all the young, don't become a builder right away. You got to basically make your mistakes on the smaller projects.
You got to take your licks.
Because you will take those licks. It will happen. The last thing you want to do is take a massive lick on a 10,000 square foot mistake.
It'll bury you.
Nobody knows how to buy an old wartime house or an old home and just go live in it.
Right.
It's all got to be gutted. I need the modern kitchen. I need a $50,000 kitchen. I need a heated friggin' you know what I mean?
100%.
Like they can't just go into something that's dated that needs a bit of paint.
Yeah.
And go, well, we can live here for like 5
But I mean, it's still the dues have to be paid.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Everything we're being fed now is no.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that the younger generation coming into trades, they don't feel the dues need to be paid.
Nobody's telling them no.
It's generation wealth, and everybody's so fucking entitled. The problem is they see everything on Instagram, what everybody's doing, and they want to get there now.
Yeah.
So they don't care who they have to step on or what they got to do to get there. They're gonna do a bad job. They're just I don't know what it is. I can't deal with it anymore. Young people piss me off every day.
Like, I think I've only ever had one new truck.
Phil, you're 34 years old, man.
Yeah. So I was always trained and kind of working with older guys. So I developed a very old school work ethic. And even from a kid going to work
probably a thick skin.
Well, no, I watched my dad. My dad was a barber and a hairdresser. He owned a bunch of salons. I used to watch him 6-7 days a week. He
kept the back of your head low so he can smack it and hit skin, not hair.
So, the ethic that I was raised on from your generation is not here anymore.
Yeah,
and guys my age are coming in and like starting at 9, 10 in the morning. I go, what the fuck are you doing?
Really?
Showing up to a job site at 10 a.m. and then asking for whatever per square foot or however much salary, and you want to go home at 4? Get the fuck out of the shop.
There's people actually exist like this. They're actually showing up like that.
It's all young guys. It's 25 to 35.
Like, I may show up at 9, 10, or 11 on some jobs, but trust me, we're there until 8, 9, 10 at night working.
But you before then were getting a bunch of material ready, picking up stuff, getting all ready.
So I'm not even talking about any of that. It's from home to the site.
I'm not showing up at 10 o'clock. I was at home and I was like, Like, yes, I should.
You're doing
get
that
up
as a
now.
contractor. As a tradesperson, you should have been ready the night before.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Prepping it.
You got your job site ready. You shouldn't be getting there
Yeah.
at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So you just send them home at that time?
Just get out of my shop, yeah. If
That's
they're-
it. You got no
yeah.
problem saying that.
Don't even go to the site.
I love it. And that's
Yeah.
another T-shirt. Get out of my shop.
Yeah.
That's all it is on the back. Get out of my shop, because that's the only thing he's going to see as I walk away from him. Get out of my shop. It's on the back
You're
of my shirt.
telling him get out of my shop, and,
And,
he's
and,
wearing.
the attitude is like, I'm doing you a favor. You need that installed.
his-
you need that. Yeah.
his T-shirt says "fuck you, pay me."
It's honestly, nobody does any due diligence anymore. Nobody's respectful. The work ethic's gone.
Yeah.
They're just money hungry, and they're not passionate
So
about
how do
their
we
craft.
feed the industry? How do we?
It needs to crash.
Yeah.
So when
I
you're
was gonna
gone,
say it
Phil,
needs
when
to
he's
tank.
gone, that's what has to happen.
The
needs to
industry
tank.
needs to crash. Everybody needs to suffer for
Yeah.
a while, and they got to go back and be able to work for pennies, do shit work, and get paid fuck all for it, and it needs to rise up again.
Honest
That's what
to
needs
God,
to happen.
I think that's the case.
Like the people need to be punished
Because they haven't felt pain yet.
No, don't need a recession. You almost need a freaking depression.
They haven't had the
Just-
shovels thrown at their heads and
Yeah.
shit when they do something wrong. Yeah.
They need a knock on the back of the door going, "Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
food today? I'm sorry, that's not on the table."
Yeah.
You know, Uber Eats can't make it.
Oh, they all need a nice fade on the back there, so then we can all smack them and just
Yeah.
skin to skin. That's all it is.
We not so much we need, but nobody's gone through any rough times.
Yeah.
It's been nothing but good times.
My first construction job
suffered.
in 2006 or 2003, 2004, I was working for a landscaping company. They told me we leave the shop at 7:30 a.m. I go, okay, no problem. I got to the shop at 7:25. They were all gone.
Yeah.
So if he told me the next day, if we leave the shop at 7:30, what time do you think you need to be there at?
7.
I go, okay. So
Yeah.
you learn real
But you
quick.
learn quick.
Very quick.
You learn quick. I mean, what is it? You've said it. Other people have said it. If you're 10 minutes,
if you're on time, you're
You're late.
late.
Yeah.
And if you're
15
early,
yeah.
you're on time.
Yeah.
exactly.
So they constantly used to get you to use your head, and now it's like everybody's just coddling everybody and scared they're going to lose their workers.
Yeah. You can't. You got.
When did the power shift?
You got to talk to them a certain way. If something happens and you're just about to come in there and just balls to the wall, go, "What the fuck, Mikey?" You got to come in there and go, "We need to have a discussion
Yeah.
about what's going on. I really need you to understand the importance of what's happening here."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, boss. I'm sorry. Thank you. And
Yeah.
walk away and go punch a wall and commit some crime. And
But everybody at
'Cause you
heavy
can't
duty
afford
is
to
like
lose
that,
the guy.
right? Like that's your mission. That's how it is. So you're
Oh,
on
yeah.
the crew. You're part of this team. This is the company. This is what we're about.
Yeah.
Anybody new comes in, they know it.
Yeah, they call me right away or project management, and this guy's not on site yet, and this is going on, and find out. And then
yeah.
they don't answer their phones or something. It's just,
That's the dumbest. I mean, I respect George from DGR always talking about that. He goes, just answer the
Yeah.
phone.
yeah, answer the phone.
Just answer
I
the
tell my
phone.
guys, I don't care what tell me you're in a drunken stupor. I don't care. Tell me the truth.
Give
Just
me the
give me
answer.
something.
Yeah.
Just don't lie to me. I don't care. If you tell me I'll respect you more for being honest.
That's what we're lacking these days is stand-up people.
It's like, yeah, boss, I just slept in. I didn't feel like coming. I'm a piece of shit. I was like, cool. I'll see you tomorrow. That's great.
Yeah.
But if you give me some excuse that your grandma died and your dog was licking your nuts all night, I'm not going to believe it.
I'm out of peanut
So,
butter. Phil, is there something that you haven't built now? Because I'm thinking that you're making this move. You're probably going to get an opportunity to build things that you haven't had a chance to build here in Toronto.
Castle.
Yeah.
A castle.
No, I haven't built any full concrete homes or anything in the hills in LA. So that's kind of what I'm most excited about.
That would be actually pretty cool, man.
They build everything on cantilevered piles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you had any
Honestly, I'm really intimidated by it.
Celebrity customers?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Well, we had one consultation with a player from Miami Heat, but never went through. But LA, that's the only one that I'm like I don't have confidence in is
Yeah.
the hills, building in the hills.
Because it's a different. You gotta have.
As much as you're building to engineer spec and you're counting on locals and stuff, like if you don't know it through, it's
Yeah.
kind of a hard thing to take on in price.
Yeah.
So that's something that when I get,
But when you're doing that over there and you have engineers, you're using engineers in
I would
those-
need to be there
I know,
100% of the time.
Still,
Yeah.
though, it's like
Oh,
it's it's different. It's different, like hugely different.
You'd want to be there every day.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to do that.
that's a challenge right there.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the biggest things, and that's where the most money is, because those people building in the hills are spending 20, 30 million on a home.
It's just on the foundation. The
Yeah.
foundation literally is becoming the most expensive part of that structure.
And then the road you're working on is 8 feet wide, and 2 cars have to travel. Where are you going to put your machines in shoring?
And the grade of that road.
And nothing can fall on moving traffic, or the house is on the 10
It's-
levels prior.
That's like like if you want to get into that, you better seriously get into that.
I've driven my cars like extensively through Grand Theft Auto hills, and I've seen
The
those
Hollywood Hills? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, buddy, it's intimidating
Yeah.
to build on.
And then I guess Miami, the other intimidation factor would be the hurricane weather. It's just at that point.
Even
right?
that's just concrete spec and,
That's
and
all it
typical.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But over there is very different.
So when you say they're building with single pane windows, like how thick is that glass?
Honestly, just 3/8 commercial glass.
Oh, that's it. Eh?
Yeah, not even an operator. Maybe one operator at the bottom. Yeah,
Wow.
they don't open their windows.
Well, because it's hot.
But
so
they're,
why let that hot
they're
humid
massive
air in?
windows too,
Right.
aren't they?
Yeah, it's all big
Like
floor to ceiling. Floor to
tempered.
ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
No operation.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're craning those up babies in, eh?
So with your what's your end goal here? Like, are you looking to scale down your operations in Canada
Nope.
and scale up those, or is this still your meat and potatoes?
I want to
here?
keep this consistent, if not grow it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're still going to be
consistency
building
is
spec
key.
houses here as well, too,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Right, get that ball growing.
Did I see you? I think I saw one of your trucks up in Collingwood this year. Did I not?
maybe.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
the Home Depot there.
Yeah. Yeah. Possibly.
I pulled in one day going, I think I know those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you guys were on the show before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's
No,
probably-
but you've got a few. I mean, how many pickup trucks you got now?
There's 13.
Oh.
With vans and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a truck
Van
for
as
sure,
a shop
yeah.
pickup. Yeah. There's 9 pickups.
I was walking in there looking around going, but I don't know who I'm looking for, so I'll just go about my day.
Yeah.
Just for the guy who's wearing a heavy duty swag shirt or
Yeah,
hoodie
that's
or
true,
something
yeah.
like
That's
that.
it.
That's what he's going to be wearing.
That's it.
All right, Phil. I mean, it's been really fucking cool to see you
give you
again,
your
bro.
shirt.
Oh, that's,
what's
a
the
little-
special one? I want to see
what you
it.
guys are doing is awesome.
That's a little sampler of our tees down there. It's kind of like a Miami Vice version.
Oh, as long as there's no glass block.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, man.
Yeah.
That's absolutely wicked, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally Thanks so much, man.
Tried to make a shirt. The shirt's a vibe.
I'm waiting for Tubbs to show up.
You want to start? You want to crack open a Corona when you put that on?
What's
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I'm seeing mojitos right now. That's what I'm seeing, man. So what's the LA one going to be? It's not going to be that much different. No.
It's gonna be kind of Grand Theft Auto-ish with the Hollywood sign. Except
Nice.
in the Hollywood sign, I think I'm gonna put Heavy Duty Homes in the hills.
Here,
something funky.
I want to do the 12 questions again with you, man.
Okay.
Thanks
Yeah,
so much
let's
for
do it
being on
over.
the show, dude. I really appreciate you taking
Thanks
the
for
time to
having
come
me.
out here, man. All right. We're ready for this?
Absolutely.
What is your favorite construction word?
Holy fuck. That's got to be it. I say that way too many times in a day.
What is your least favorite construction word?
Can't be done.
What turns you on in construction?
Finished products.
What turns you off in construction?
Changes.
Yeah, I don't want it. Oh, fuck, I hate it, man. I hate the Bowie builds.
Yeah.
You know the Bowie builds? Changes. What is your favorite curse word or phrase?
Favorite curse word. That's a good one. Jesus fucking Christ.
What is your favorite vehicle? Oh, now that has to be opened up now that you've been to Miami and LA.
Yeah. Favorite vehicle.
The electric
Not construction
Hummer.
vehicle.
Anything in the world.
I love the Range Rover SVR.
What is your least favorite vehicle?
Honda. Anything Honda.
Anything on.
Yeah, I can't.
What construction sound or noise do you love?
Framing nailers.
That's been a favorite one lately.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with. What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Concrete chipping.
Yeah, Pearson. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt in those 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year? Like, holy cow, buddy.
That's the SVR.
I'd love to be a professional boxer.
A professional boxer.
Yeah, if I had to pick
Is
anything
this job
else.
not punishing you enough?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that'd be kind of cool, eh?
Yeah.
Boxing events with clients. You want
Yeah.
to change?
We had
You
that
wanna
idea.
change, really? Really?
We had that idea, yeah. At the end of the job, you can keep your last payment if you can beat me in a fight. We'll do a little client and heavy duty boxing match. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that, man. I'd
Yeah.
pay the pay-per-view for that one. What profession would you not like to do?
Porta potty cleaning.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
a reoccurring
Respectful,
theme.
tough one. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates, Phil?
Things are about to get heavier up here.
That's amazing, man. Phil, thank you so much for being on the show
Thank
again.
you guys. I really appreciate it.
www.heavydutyhomes.com. Email him at heavy@heavydutyhomes.com. And on IG, it is Heavy Duty Homes Inc. You got any last questions you want to ask?
I'm in awe of this.
It's respectful, man.
With the success and the scope and the expansion, it's just like, oh,
Thank you. I appreciate
amazing.
it, man. It's not easy, but I mean, we all try to get somewhere.
Oh, that's just, it's fabulous. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Makes me want to be part of it.
Call him up. Send him an email. Excuse me, I was on the show there with you, and I was just wanting to talk to you about something.
Yeah, come by the shop. We'll do some spros.
Oh, I'd love to come by, man.
voice?
We are out of here. Thanks, Phil, so much, man. We'll talk soon.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.